Are you tired of leaving money on the table? Well, today you're going to discover the 5 critical marketing gaps that are costing your business thousands. And so discover the 5 critical marketing. Today you're going to discover the 5 critical gaps that are costing your business thousands. So welcome, business owners and operators. You're here because you're responsible for the growth and profitability of your company. Today, we're going to uncover 5 critical marketing gaps that are likely costing you money right now. So, did you know that according to a recent study by the Small Business Administration, over 50% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years? And I think the number is much higher than that. But here's the kicker: it's really not because their product or service is bad. It's often because they're missing key marketing opportunities. That is, they're not making enough money, so they go out of business. As the legendary Peter Drucker once said, the purpose of a business is to create and keep a customer. So today I'm going to show you how to do both more effectively than ever before. And we're going to explore modern growth capabilities that most businesses are overlooking that result in a significant lost revenue. By the end of this presentation, you'll have actionable insights to close these gaps and boost your profitability, as well as how to leverage tools and strategies and training to achieve the business growth that you envisioned way back when you started your company. So if you're ready to unlock the potential of the business, let's dive in and turn those gaps into gold mines. Before we jump into the gaps, though, let me quickly introduce myself and explain why I am uniquely qualified to go through this journey with you. So, have you ever felt like technology is moving way faster than you or your business can even keep up? I mean, you're not alone, and that's exactly why I'm here. I mean, if I was like everybody else, I'd just be talking about AI today, but I'm not. I'm talking about all of it, and we're going to talk about AI today. I'm Dominic Caruba. I'm a marketing technology expert with over 30 years experience in sales, marketing, and technology integration. My journey began back in 1991 with an XP or XT 8088 computer. I bought 2 at the same time from a guy. It had a software program on it. I was the younger of my business partner and I. And guess what? I learned the software. And I've been riding the technology wave ever since. I figured out how to use that thing to grow our business. And I haven't stopped since. So let me give you a quick rundown of my experience. So I actually started in sales and marketing when I was 21 years old, selling financial services to people twice my age, half my age now. Not half my age now. I'm not that old. And then I went to work for a major telephone company. I created my own competitive telephone company, then transitioned as a professional trainer in sales, technology, leadership, and communication since '99 when I sold that company. I specialize in marketing automation platforms. Let me go back. So I started in sales and marketing when I was 21, selling life insurance and financial services to people twice my age. Became a vice president in that company by the time I was 23. I started a marketing company for the local Bell services in 5 states. Transitioned to my own competitive local telephone company. And in 1999, became a professional trainer in sales, technology, leadership, and communication, and specializing in marketing automation platforms in 2008. But here's what really sets me apart. I've not only been in your shoes, I still am in your shoes. I've faced the challenges of integrating new technologies into my existing business process every day and have been doing it for years. I feel the frustration of trying to keep up with the ever changing digital landscape. And it's my business to keep up. So I know you've invested in tools, in technology, in promises, and really gotten more likely frustration, resistance, and really not the ROI you expected because it was either too complicated or it didn't integrate or your staff just didn't use it and it was a waste. So that's where I come in. You see, I'm on a mission to save small businesses and help them thrive by bridging the gap between traditional and digital marketing strategies. My expertise lies in creating a seamless blend of online and offline techniques tailored for small business success. And today, I'm most excited to share with you some modern growth capabilities that most businesses are overlooking or applying incorrectly or ineffectively, which just results in missed revenue. You're losing leads, you're not converting them into sales, you're not getting reviews, and quite frankly, you're not selling them again. So today we'll explore how these strategies can actually work to help grow your business and prosper. So if you're ready to unlock the full potential of your business, we'll dive in and discover the 5 critical marketing gaps that could be holding you back. It's just not going to do it. So I had those all programmed. Technology, right? I had them all programmed to go one at a time so I could easily share them with you. But look, here they are. Now look, in today's digital landscape, the difference between thriving and merely surviving comes down to 5 crucial steps that grow profits when you close those gaps. So every business today needs to consistently write the word down. Consistently. These aren't just the 5 things you need to do. These are the 5 things you need to do consistently. You must generate leads, nurture those leads into bookings, and those bookings turn into sales. Those sales turn into reviews. And then that relationship with the customer must repeat. So you have to have repeat buyers. Now, this might sound straightforward, but here's the kicker. Most businesses struggle to consistently hit the mark in each of these stages. So let's break it down with some eye-opening statistics. According to a study by HubSpot, 61% of marketers say that generating traffic and leads is at the top of their list of challenges. Generating traffic and leads is at the top of their list. And only 50% of businesses have a clearly defined strategy for lead generation. And talk about money going to waste. A mere 25% of leads are actually nurtured effectively and turned into bookings. It's not even a sale yet. And the average sales conversion rate across all industries is just 2.46%. And only 5 to 10% of satisfied customers leave reviews without being asked. Without being asked, your happiest customers are only leaving reviews 10% of the time. Shockingly, increasing customer retention by just 5% can increase profits by 25 to 95%, depending on your business. So looking at these numbers or hearing these numbers, where do you think your business stands in each of these areas? And think of these 5 steps as a funnel. Now I got it look like a funnel, but it's think of it as a funnel. Each stage feeds into the next. And the key word here is consistently feeds into the next. It's not enough to just have one of these areas right. And it's not enough to have it do excellent occasionally. True small business success comes from mastering all 5 and executing them reliably, consistently, day in and day out. So Sarah has a local boutique clothing store, and implementing a systematic approach to these 5 steps. She saw a 300% increase in online sales within 6 months. And they didn't just focus on generating leads, they created what's called a journey, a seamless journey from initial contact. Whoa. They didn't just focus on generating leads. They created a journey, a seamless journey from initial contact to repeat purchase. Throughout this presentation, we'll dive deep into each of these steps and explore specific strategies that exist today that would ensure your business capitalizes on these opportunities. And by the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to close these gaps and skyrocket your online success. So congratulations on taking the first step towards your success by evaluating the gaps in your current technology integration to see. So congratulations on taking the first steps towards success by evaluating the gaps your current technology is causing in each of these critical business processes. So now that we've outlined the path to success, let's create a little checklist. You have to help you identify where your business might have these gaps. And this checklist will help you identify where your business might have gaps and prepare you for the technology tactics we'll discuss to close the gaps. So the 5 key areas we're going to be focusing on are lead generation. Are you consistently generating new leads? Lead nurturing. Do you have a system to nurture leads into bookings? And a booking for you might be someone comes in, it might be an appointment that you go to them, it might be an appointment that you meet online, it might even be a sale. Either way, booking. And then are you effectively turning those bookings into sales? We're going to talk about, so that's sales conversion. Then we're going to talk about review generation. Like, do you have a process that turns sales into reviews that runs consistently? And then finally, for customer retention, are you consistently turning customers into repeat buyers? So here are the 5 areas we'll be focusing on. Lead generation. Are you consistently generating new leads? Nurturing. Do you have a system to nurture those leads into bookings? Conversion. Are you effectively turning those bookings into sales? Reviews. Do you have a process to turn sales into reviews? And then repeat business or retention. Are you consistently turning customers into repeat buyers? And as I go through these areas, I want you to honestly assess your current process. Give them a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being no process, 10 being people are learning from me how to do this. Or I could teach you, Dominic. Great. I'm always open to learn. So are they, here's how you is it implemented? If it's not, it's a 0. Are they efficient? That is to say, you use the system that it's implemented, right? So that give yourself a 5 if you're just using the thing. If you got a piece of paper that you use, and that's a system, and you're using it, give it a 5. Are they automated? That is to say, does it happen automatically? And that would give you a 7 or 8 in a lot of cases. And then, are there gaps that need to be addressed? Honestly, if you know that there are gaps that need to be addressed, you're probably higher on the scale than most people. So in the coming slides, we'll explore each of these technology tactics that can help you close these gaps and streamline your marketing. In the coming slides, we're gonna explore these cutting edge technologies. We're gonna explore the technology tactic in the coming In the coming slides, we're gonna explore the technology tactics that can help you close these gaps, so you can streamline your sales and marketing efforts. And then we'll look at the tools for automating lead generation, systems for nurturing leads more effectively, strategies for improving sales conversion rates, methods for generating more reviews, and techniques for boosting customer retention. One of our local clients was a health company. They do Ravi and Fred over it. Let me share a quick success story. Ravi and Fred at TY Healthspan implemented our system to address all 5 of these areas when launching their new business. And having just been launched less than 2 months, they had pretty aggressive goals, nearly exceeding, really nearly meeting all their goals. Now, for a brand new business, nearly meeting all their goals is just as good as a company. Believe me, they've got more set up than most businesses that have been around for decades. But I would say their conversion rates are in the 40% range. Sales are happening, and they're getting reviews. As a 2-month-old business, they have more reviews than other competitors nearby that have been in business for years. And that's the power of a systematic approach to business growth. And by the end of this presentation, you'll have a clear roadmap for implementing these tactics, these technical tactics in your business. And if you're ready to start closing these gaps, you could take your business to the next level. So let's dive a little deeper in each of these areas, starting with how most businesses are leaving leads uncontacted. So I got to tell you, this is one of the most powerful tools most businesses ignore. And it's really just an extension of what we used in the 80s. And it's gotten more advanced. So leaving a lead uncontacted. So most local businesses do not have they have not enabled SMS for their business. Oh, I got it on my phone. Yeah, and you publish your phone to the world. Your phone number is published to the world. The same phone you take home and put next to your bed. The whole world has that number. So, despite the widespread use of smartphones, which you see 6-year-olds have, most local businesses don't have SMS capability for their business. This is a significant oversight, especially when you consider that SMS is now the most preferred method of communication for most customers, not just your younger ones. And the numbers really speak for themselves. The average open rate for SMS messages still today, even with all these marketing technology tactics, is well over 90%, closer to 98%. To put that in perspective, email open rates average around 20%, And I just want you to do quick math. 20% of my messages get seen versus 90% of my messages get seen. That's a massive difference in engagement. So you got to think about how many potential customers are you missing out on by not offering their preferred method of communication. Then when we think about generating more leads, our mind often, when I talk to small businesses, they say they want more leads. I'm like, great. They're like, what do you do? Do you do SEO? Do you do ads? Do you do flyers? Do you do door knock? You know what I do? I capture the leads you're missing. I give you a tighter net. So all you really have to do to get more leads is communicate in the preferred communication channel. That is using SMS. So by adding a simple widget to your website, and we're going to get to another little feature of this, right? But just talk about just adding a simple widget to your website. Instead of leaving visitors hanging, that little widget can initiate a text message conversation that you can manage in a mobile app or your computer without having to use your real mobile phone number. That's a game changer for several reasons. It aligns with the customer preference. People prefer texting over other forms of communication. It's more convenient. And unlike live chats, users can leave their website, your website, after sending that initial message, and the conversation continues on their phone. It's also highly effective because businesses are often amazed by the number of conversations generated once they implement this feature. So this chat widget solves a common frustration with traditional live chat, which is users often find no one available on the other end and don't want to wait around on a website for an answer. So if you close this gap, you get more leads. That reinforces your investment in SEO and advertising and all the other things, because once they show up to your website, you get to engage them. And you capture them on the channel they want to be on. So by not using SMS, businesses are essentially leaving leads on the web. They're missing opportunities to engage quickly and effectively with potential customers who are primed and ready to interact. They are ready to buy. You are not ready to sell if you don't have this feature, one feature enabled. So, uncaptured, unanswered. Now, did you know that every unanswered call costs you money? And people may call. Like I started out early in my career, I was in the phone business. You know what companies didn't do back then? They didn't monitor their calls. You know why? There was no way to do it. Right? When long distance carriers started competing, there was a way to check your long distance calls, but you still couldn't check your local calls till they invented what? Voicemail. That captured all the calls if they left a message. So this gap of not answering calls is costing businesses a fortune. And the statistics on this are crazy. 64% of inbound calls to small and medium-sized businesses go unanswered every day. And you might think, oh, there's no way I don't miss that many calls. Fair enough. You're not missing 64%. That's somebody else. What if you're missing 30%? What if you're missing 20%? Let's say you get 100 calls a day and you miss 10. So what is 10 calls worth? What if each of those 10 were ready to buy your most expensive product? What if one of those 10 wanted to buy your most expensive product? What if all 10 wanted to buy your least expensive? What if 2 of the 10 wanted to buy your least expensive? What if 1? How much is that? So calculate that on your sheet to see, all right, well, I sell something for $50. If I miss one sale a day, it costs me $50 a day, 30 days a month. That's $1,500 a month you're losing because, you don't answer the call. You missed a call. So, when you calculate how much your minimum loss is, maybe you'll sleep easy tonight knowing what your maximum loss is. I don't know. But here's where modern technology comes to rescue. You can implement what's called a missed call text back system, where it automatically sends a text message saying something like, hey, we missed your call. How can we help? Now, is that better than a voicemail? Yeah, 100% better. Why? Because you're engaging them. You're not waiting for them to engage you. So even if you only recovered half of the missed calls, and even if only half of those customers, so I'm going to do quick math. You're losing $1,500 a month. Let's say you just recover 10% of that. It's $150 a month. That would pay for most systems that would do this. So you can't say it's expensive. You can only say, I don't need the money. Don't say it out loud. We don't want to know your answer. We're just informing you, right? And that's immediate money. That's money that shows up today. So many don't have this in place yet. They're not text enabled. They're not missed call enabled. And you're not only recapturing lost leads, because, by the way, everybody that didn't buy, we'll come to that later, guess what? You also captured their number. So you didn't lose anything. But you also gain a competitive edge in your customer service. You're more responsive. So let's look at the next one. Let's talk about how you're leaving leads on the table. That is to say, what's the most powerful search engine that comes to mind? Well, if you didn't say Google, welcome to 2025. We've had an interesting quarter century. Where have you been? Your Google business profile is your website for the world. But I got a website. No, yeah, but are you managing and maintaining your Google business profile? Google canceled this. This is so horrible, but Google canceled this feature. We can no longer interact in our systems with the messaging portion because it was happening too much and Google wasn't making any money on it. But there's still a connection to your Google business profile. The average business receives over 1,000 visits to their Google business profile per month. That's 1,000 potential customers. If it's not optimized, if it's not connected to your business systems, if it's not connected to your business systems, guess what? You don't have any visibility into what's happening. But this is your beacon. This is your yellow page ad. Remember, when you had a business, you had to have a yellow page ad. Now you have to have a Google business profile. You could generate more leads with zero ad spend. If your business shows up in search and you have your phone number connected and you're accurate, you're going to show up more than before. The next way is that your business, that leads to this, is that your business is also probably unlisted. There are way more places. Not everybody gave up because Google's the biggest. The way that you rank on Google and the way that you rank in other engines where people go, because people are everywhere on the planet, so they go different places. Top ranking local businesses have approximately 81 citations from top level domains on average. That means when your listing is correct amongst all the places, you show up first because you show up the most consistently. So that's not an accident. And it's not automatic. It's something you have to manage along the other million things you got to manage. And Google loves consistency. So Google is trying to find a plumber near me, and they've got Bob's Plumbing, who's got 7 addresses, 4 phone numbers, 2 web pages that he left hanging, but they still sit on the internet, and Google knows about everything on the internet. And they got, Superior Plumbing. 1 name, 1 number, 1 address, 1 listing that's the same everywhere. Who's Google going to feel more comfortable referring their customer to? Of course, not endorsing Superior. So you're losing customers by just not being listed. Look, we used to have 1 book you had to be listed in, the Yellow Pages, right? And you got listed in the White Pages section, but the Yellow Pages. Well, the Yellow Pages now has over 150 channels. And you got to have them all right with each one. You got to keep up with it. So this is where listing management service comes in handy, where you input all your critical information, name, address, phone number once, and have it automatically update the other places in nearly 100 top directories on the web. But it doesn't stop there. The service then locks this data, preventing other people from changing it. Oh, you didn't know that other people could change your data? Yeah. But you don't have a system to keep people from doing that? Well, guess what? Savvy competitors are screwing up people all the time. They might be thinking, why does this matter so much? Well, 97% of consumers learn about local companies online. 97%. That means 97% are going to go to the web first until you establish a relationship with them. If your information is inconsistent, missing, you're essentially invisible in the search and essentially losing a huge portion of potential customers. And even more concerning, 85% of consumers found incorrect or incomplete information on business listings in the past year. That's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a trust issue. 63% of consumers would stop using a business if they found incorrect information on its listing. That is to say, it's a bump in the road that you could fix. It's challenging to get someone to become a lead if they don't even know you exist. So proper listings significantly expand your online presence, putting your business in front of a much larger audience. I remember back in the 90s, I had a phone company. I was working with customers, and I remember one customer specifically was brand new. And they didn't get their listing right in the Yellow Pages, and it nearly put them out of business completely. Because how long do you have to wait to correct your listing? A year. All the books went out. And by the way, the bad listing stayed for years. So it's important now, just like it was then. And 94% of consumers have used business information, to find details about a local business in the last 12 months. That means everybody's doing it. Matter of fact, 46% of all Google searches are looking for local people. Can you afford not to have a strong, consistent online presence that the biggest search engine in the world can present you confidently? And making sure that you rank where you belong, making it easier for your customers to find and trust you. So let's look at customer engagement response time. So most businesses don't respond fast enough. And every minute you delay in responding to a lead is costing you thousands in potential revenue. And I say thousands, and I mean dollars. So speed to lead is critical. Write that down. Speed to lead is critical. If you leave here with nothing else today, you must realize that the most important thing is to get in conversation with someone when they're ready to have a conversation with you. And that means when they're looking for you. It's startling when you hear about it. If you connect with a lead within 5 minutes of generating that lead, you are 100 times more likely to connect with them, 100 times higher. All right. So when it comes to nurturing leads into sales, speed is absolutely critical. Okay. So when it comes to nurturing leads into sales, speed is absolutely critical. It's not a nice to have. It's a you're losing money if you don't have. Now, this is startling, but take notice. The odds of connecting with a lead within 5 minutes of generation are about 100 times higher than waiting just 30 minutes. And some businesses wait days before contacting their leads back. I mean, think about it. Your toilet's overflowing on the top floor of your house. You call a plumber and he doesn't answer. You leave a message. Do you go about your day, wait for him to call you back? What do? You don't care. You're calling the next damn plumber. This isn't like a fantasy. This is how business works. When people need what you have, they want it now. Waiting 5 minutes can even cost you business. So this is handing your customer over to a competitor. So essentially, there's a 5-minute shot clock in play. If you can engage a new lead within this window, your odds of closing that lead skyrocket. In fact, research by InsideSales.com found that 35 to 50% of sales go to the vendor that responds first. Think about that. Think about that toilet overflowing. Are you looking at reviews? Or are you looking for a plumber to be in your house any minute to stop the water? Well, really, you should just turn the water off at the valve, but we could talk about that later. You get my point, right? You could potentially be doubling your sales by being quicker on the draw. Bill and Nancy run a Keller Williams agency, and they have significantly increased their lead conversion rate by 40% just in the last 2 months of implementing this one feature. That's the power of speed in action. Now, I know you're thinking, but I'm already swamped with day-to-day operations. How can I possibly respond to that quickly? You can't. I get it. You're busy running your business. And that's exactly why you need a system in place to handle this for you. Now, we have this system. This isn't new. We used to call it an answering service, and you paid several $100s a month, maybe thousands, to have somebody answer your phone all the time with a live body. How many of y'all have that? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? No. Why not? There's still people in the world that'll answer your phone. So even if you did that, you just had a way to have a live person answer the phone. Doctors do it. Why can't you? Now here's the game changer. Imagine having all your lead channels funnel into a consolidated mobile application. That means you can quickly reply to everything in one place the moment your pocket buzzes. No more juggling multiple platforms or missing notifications, but it gets better. With consolidated mobile communication, it's not just one person handling all the leads. You can have your entire team monitoring and managing that inbox, working out of the same inbox, which means faster response times, better collaboration, and no leads slipping through the crack. Think about it. There's lots of reasons, but the truth still remains. Customers expect a quick response. And HubSpot found that 82% of customers rate an immediate response as important or very important when they have marketing or sales questions. So by setting this up, you're increasing your chances of making a sale. You're not just increasing your chances of making a sale. You're meeting a crucial customer expectation, which leads to customer satisfaction, which leads into the next things we're going to talk about. Another one, right? So what about responding. What about responding consistently? That is to say, the same answer to the same question. I used to say this all the time, is that when I had a problem with the phone company, because I used to work with the big companies all the time as a little guy, and I bought and resold from them, and I'd say, well, I'd call customer service, and if I didn't get the answer I want, I'd hang up and call back until I did. And then I would go with that person's answer and fight my way to what I wanted. So that's just what happened in the past. Just telling you. So if you don't respond consistently, you're not only overworking your employees, your staff, your business is expending money on different answers, but you have to produce different solutions. It leads to mistrust and confusion among customers. You're actually destroying your brand. The brand, when you think about brand, we talk about this in another session, but brand is your promise that people automatically think of when they think of you. And that is not your promise, but your delivered promises. It's what they can count on you for. So a very powerful tool, which you have in lots of different ways. One of my tools calls it a snippet. Snippets are predefined messages that you can create and save, allowing you or anybody on your team to automatically pick the answer to the question with very little training necessary. It's a curated response fit into a conversation. And just think of it as not only a secret weapon for efficiency, also consistency. So let's say you're a local gym and you get asked about your membership options multiple times a day. Without snippets, each staff member is going to put a different spin on it. With snippets, you ensure every potential customer gets the same accurate, comprehensive response every time. So this is a manual form of automation, but it works when you have a business that has people in it. So according to a study by McKinsey, it's a very big firm, the average worker spends 28% of their work week managing emails. 28% of their work week. 28%. 40 times 28% is a lot like 2 days. 3 times 4 is 12. Day and a half. Day and a half of their week. Just emails. Just emails. When you use snippets, you can significantly reduce the time, allowing you and your staff to focus on more high-value tasks. Now, there is a strategy to managing emails and getting it down pat. That's another training class. We can get to that later. This is one technical tactic that you can use, and you can use it in many different platforms, not just. So a survey by Salesforce found that 76% of customers expect consistent interactions among departments. They help you, and snippets, predefined text, help you meet this expectation effortlessly. And just think about it. How much time your team spends replying. Typing the same message twice drives me bananas. I hate it. And I find myself doing it. But after a while, I get annoyed with it and I create a snippet and I do it and I'm done. So think about it. How many misunderstandings, how much time could be avoided with consistent messaging? So snippets is a starting point. Then personalize the message slightly for each customer. That it combines efficiency with a personal touch that customers really not only crave, but appreciate when they get it. So, doing a quick check, we just covered 6 ways to capture more leads and respond to them quickly and consistently. So remember, in today's fast-paced business environment, consistency is the key. And by responding quickly and consistently, you're not just saving time, you're capturing lost leads, you're elevating your customer service, and you're providing a brand for your business. And in a world where 96% of customers say customer service is important in their choice of loyalty to a brand, can you afford not to close this gap with technology that exists today? I know I like asking those questions, right? Now, most businesses are also not set up to nurture. So that's all the captures. 6 ways to capture more leads. And you didn't have to spend a dime on ads or hire more staff. Matter of fact, you probably reduce it. It's capture. Now we're going to talk about convert. This is where I started in 2008. I tried it in 2004, but it really became a thing in like 2001 or 2. Permission-based marketing, a guy named Seth Godin, if you haven't heard of him. But then tools came around. A tool called Get Response was the first tool that I used back in 2004. And I used that for my telephone company, the little bit that I had left until 2008 when I discovered Infusionsoft, which is now called Keep. It's a marketing automation platform that does just this, nurtures personally. So if you're ready to skyrocket your conversion rates, let's talk about the game-changing tool that most small businesses still overlook. 1, personalized video messaging. Now, I love this because it's a feature in a lot of platforms. It's a feature on your cell phone if you're using that still. Most businesses don't leverage personal video in their communication strategy. Yet the impact is undeniable. Did you know that 93% of companies who send personalized video increase conversion rates? Yeah, that's not just a slight bump. We're talking about a significant boost in your bottom line. So video messaging, that sounds complicated and time consuming, but let me assure you, it's simpler than you think. So there's modern video messaging tools. You can quickly record a video, have it automatically uploaded to the interwebs in the cloud, and then a link to the video along with a preview is dropped right into your conversation, ready to be sent. It's that easy. If you try to do it on your mobile phone, you're going to run into a time size problem, and that could be a problem. But, I know Alex Hormozy made $46 million when he sold his company because he put this in his process. And he had his whole process was built around when he taught the gym launch program that the personal trainers would send a personal video in order to keep people showing up. It's not just a good idea. It makes you money. So imagine what would happen if your staff were sending personalized videos to new leads. Picture a potential customer receiving a video message where you address them by name and reference their specific needs or interests and offer them a tailored solution. That level of personalization dramatically increases engagement and trust. And why this works so well is because video allows you to convey personality and authenticity in a way text simply can't match. You're not just a faceless business. You're a real person reaching out to a real person with real information that they really want to know. And they also understand that you took time to do that, which immediately sets you apart from your competitors sending a generic message. So they cater to our increasingly visual digital culture. And a company called Wiseowl, 84% of people, they said, Wiseowl did it. Wiseowl, sorry. A study by Wiseowl, 84% of people say they've been convinced to buy a product or service by watching a brand's video. So, are your competitors doing it? Have they attended this class yet? How long are you going to wait? Because here's the kicker. Despite its effectiveness, most of your competitors are not doing it. And this is your opportunity to stand out, to be memorable, and create connection that goes beyond transactional. So let's talk about collecting money. Most businesses are not set up to collect a payment You're limited. Oh, you got to bring the credit card around here. Remember, we used to shunk shunk. You do that, right? Uh, yeah. So if you're tired of chasing payments and dealing with cash flow headaches, let's quickly request payments on the go. So we'll dive into a critical aspect of businesses that many overlook: the ability to quickly request and collect payments. So if you have people on the outside, or if you got a large warehouse or something, or you're doing an estate sale and you want a customer wants to buy a thing right now, wouldn't it be great if all your people could say, oh, let me just send you a quick request, get the money, and boom, it's done. So most small businesses are not set up to do this. And this can lead to delayed cash flow and missed opportunities. So imagine this. You're a landscaper, just finished a job. Client's thrilled, but you don't have a way to collect a payment immediately. Or you were sick that day and your guys finished up and they were done and they signed the paperwork, but they couldn't collect the payment. Well, you had to go back to the office, create an invoice, email it, and wait and wait and wait for the payment to come through. Sound familiar? So text to pay is a technology that's changing how small businesses can handle this. It puts the payment tool right in your hand from a mobile app. And there's a couple other features with this particular platform I'm showing you the screenshot of, but it's the same with several platforms. So imagine just sending a text or an email with a link that drops directly to a payment conversation with a client. And it's as simple as sending a text message. How much time and stress would you save if you could create an invoice in seconds, right, from your smartphone? But here's what gets exciting. Google Pay and Apple Pay integration, the person receiving the text can just click the link, scan their face or fingerprint, boom, invoice is paid. We're talking about turning a process that used to take days into seconds, even before your staff leaves. Intuit, the guys that make QuickBooks, said 61% of small businesses struggle with cash flow. By implementing a quick payment solution, you're addressing this issue head on. You're not just making it easier for your clients to pay, you're dramatically speeding up your cash flow. And that's speed to need. So offering flexible, modern payment options can increase your sales. A company called Payments, PMMNTS, found that 48% of consumers are more likely to shop with a merchant that offers their preferred method of payment. Again, you're satisfying customers in every way they want to be satisfied in the ways that you are not set up today to do it. So you're winning more business. You're getting more cash flow. And when you streamline your payment process and boost your cash flow, think about the difference that would make for you and based on the last time you had to chase a client for a payment. Chasing is uncomfortable. It's time consuming and it puts a strain on your business relationship. This technical feature eliminates the awkwardness and positions your business as a modern, customer-friendly organization. You can also, but they say, well, I just got a credit card. I don't have my phone with me. I just have my wallet. Great. What if you could turn every one of your employees' phones into a point of sale? Tap to Pay does that. It integrates the technology with the technology that's in everybody's smartphone without having to pay for individual pieces of equipment that may or may not be connected at the time correctly. Bulky card readers are the worst. They always fail when you need them the most. And by the way, if you just got one of them, but you got three, let's say you're working your farmer's market. You got 4 people in the booth, all have cell phones on them. But you got one little card reader and you got a line of customers waiting to pay, but they've all got their bags of fruit. Every one of your employees could tap, collect the money, and go. Boom. Very savvy, very fast. Again, cash flow, convenience, all those things jump right in. So Tap to Pay technology is an innovative solution that turns any modern mobile phone into a credit card terminal. Yeah, any smartphone, maybe even Cricket. I don't know. So, how many sales are lost because you couldn't get the money right then, or you just had to wait for the money? It's speed. You used to buy computers because they were faster. Now you got to buy software to make yourself faster. You need money. Collecting money has literally never been easier. In a world where speed and convenience are paramount, businesses that can collect payments quickly, anywhere, I'd call that a competitive advantage. Now, once you've got the money, we've got to generate reviews. Convert, collect. We did the collect. And now we're going to do. I may cut that out since you didn't see me do it the last 2 times. But there you go. Capture, convert, collect, review. I have a sign in my office that asks people to review. It's even got a QR code printed on it. Awesome. Anything else? Reviews are the currency of our new reality. Your satisfied customers are the worst because they're not motivated. They're not motivated to do you a solid and give you a great review. You know who is motivated? Small percentage of customers that you didn't jive with. And so now you got bad reviews outweighing your good reviews, and your average is going down. And by the way, I hate 5-point averages, but that's the way the world works. They're the worst, and one bad review can tank your score big time. So 88% of consumers worldwide consult reviews when discovering a new business, and this information is 2 years old. 60% of consumers feel that the number of reviews a business has is critical when deciding whether or not to use its services. I mean, think about it. Would you go to a restaurant that had 5 stars and 2 reviews? Or would you go to a restaurant that had 4.6 stars with 2,257 reviews? So that's pretty good averages. It's critical. It works. It's got to be done. And if you don't have more reviews than your competitor, who's winning? Now, here's where it gets interesting. A steady increase in reviews has been shown to correlate directly with an increase in Google business profile phone calls. In other words, more reviews don't just make you look good, they actively drive potential customers to you. Think of reviews as a flywheel for your business. The more positive reviews you generate, the more visibility you get from Google. The more visibility you get from Google, the more traffic you get. The more traffic you get, the more business you get. Because people trust businesses with good reviews. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that can dramatically accelerate your business growth. However, there's a problem. You may ask for them, but do you have a systematic way of quickly requesting a Google review, quickly, before they cool off? You might ask verbally or send sporadic emails, but there's no consistent, efficient process in place. That inconsistency means you're not getting the reviews you could be getting, and you're leaving the potential growth on the table. So if you want to turn your satisfied customers into powerful brand advocates, you have to implement an automated review request system for your business. Pre-programming the message review request so it's consistent, complete with a direct link to your Google review page, and sending that message with a tap or two, sometimes automatically. You don't always want to send them automatically. Let me say that. It could sometimes get you, but you could do it in a couple taps, do it automatically. That's the power of a system. But when you automate it, there's still a problem. You got to deal with less than stellar reviews. And when you automate it, you get to choose when you send it out. So consistently generating a stream of fresh reviews and having to remember to ask. So every satisfied customer doesn't leave a review, and that's costing you opportunities. If you put a system in place, then you're creating a powerful engine for growth. Think of it like a turbocharger on your car. Your car can run without it, but when you need it, it sure is nice to have. So here's the other part of that, right? So now I'm getting reviews. Right? You got to respond to the reviews, good, bad, and ugly. Why? Well, because that shows you care. And people look for you to respond to a review. And the sooner you respond to the review, it's noticed. Now, it may not be obvious to everybody, but it is obvious to Google how fast you respond. And people who receive a response, they get a nice little feeling. It didn't just go into the void of the internet. They actually think, that's nice. Right? I mean, trolls get your attention quickly and fastly. I'm just a nerd. That fixed everything for me. Right? So this is critical though. Consistently responding to reviews. That's important. And it's going to really mean up to the last thing, which is repeat buyers. And systematically doing it, right? It's because it creates a human connection in a disconnected world. So you're no longer a faceless business. You're somebody who cared about them. You listen, you engage. You may not have agreed. You may even be responding to a bad review, but it's still going to create a better response. I had a cafe owner, Sarah, did this, and she saw a 30% increase in repeat customers within just 90 days. That's the power of engagement, especially if you're tracking those kind of things. If you're not tracking those kind of things, that's another conversation. But this has a ripple effect. When other people see you're treating other people like humans, they want to be treated like humans too. So it creates a virtuous cycle of engagement and feedback that can dramatically improve your online presence and your reputation. And responding to negative reviews is just as important, if not more so, than responding to positive ones. There's actually a bond created between a business and a customer when business takes time to reply to a negative review. It shows that you care about customer satisfaction, that you're willing to confront the issues and address them head on in public, and you're committed to improvement. And people give you grace for that. So what's the takeaway here? Twofold. Consistently request reviews from your customers, make it a part of your regular business process, and consistently reply to every review as they come in, both positive and negative, whether you're doing this manually or through your Google Business Profile or using a specialized app that integrates all of this into your conversation stream. The important thing is you're doing it consistently. And in today's digital age, your online reputation is not only the first impression that customers have of you, but it's also your legacy. Not to mention, it's your way to foster relationships, reputation, loyalty, and ultimately driving more business to and through your doors. Now, this is the last section of it. We got three things to talk about it. But there are only two ways in marketing for you to grow your revenue: reach and frequency. Reach is all the things you do to get new business. Frequency is all the things you do to get that business to come back. Database, most businesses don't reactivate their database. and you're sitting on a gold mine of untapped revenue. When we set up a customer on our program, the first thing we do after we load their database is we request reviews from all the existing customers, right? Because we need to boost that. The second thing we do is we then offer them something that they want, and it generates revenue for us. It's called a database reactivation. We go in, and it sounds complicated and time consuming, but here's the truth. It's not only simpler than you think, it's one of the most powerful tools you have for growing your business, but more specifically for boosting your cash flow. You know this. It's dramatically easier to, and it's dramatically easier and drastically cheaper to turn an existing customer into a repeat buyer than it is to acquire a new customer. This is a profit play. Studies show that acquiring a new customer can cost 5 times more than retaining an existing one. 5x your CAC, customer acquisition cost. You're potentially spending 5 times more money chasing new customers when you could just be digging up your gold mine that you already have. So if you think about how much money you're actually leaving on the table by not leveraging your existing customer base, but here's the kicker. And it's the number one reason most businesses are missing out on this opportunity. They don't even have a shared database to reactivate. They got some in QuickBooks, they got them in their phone, they got them on a spreadsheet. Sally's got some, I think. Would Debbie have some on there? Bobby knows, ask him. Oh, we had a notebook with everybody. Awesome. Is it shared and accessible with everybody? You've got all these valuable contacts, leads, customers, people who've shown interest, but they're just scattered across all these different hashtags. Stop using spreadsheets, but at least use something like that. Buried in email inboxes, or worse, sitting dusty. This will be a throwback, a Rolodex for some of you. This is where a digital Rolodex or a customer relationship management system comes into play. Think of it as your business's central nervous system. You're the brain, but you have to connect to all the parts. So it's a place to house all the leads, all the contacts, all the customers, all of the communications in one place. But it's more than just a glorified Rolodex or address book. A good CRM allows you to track and manage interactions, set reminders, do automatic follow-ups, and most importantly, segment your customers for targeted marketing efforts. Why targeted? Because it's expensive to market to everybody. But if you can focus on a small group, you can get more bang for your buck. And what CRMs allow you to do is to filter so you can focus. This is my life's work right here. I can't get into all of it now, but I preach, teach, and inspire people to be more productive. But the first thing you have to do is focus on what you're doing. The only way to focus is to filter out everything else. How do you do that? CRMs are magic if you set them up right. Most of them are not, but I get it. That's what I'm trying to teach you. My buddy writes mobile apps for people. And he came across a customer that wanted a mobile app. And he said, look, I got an idea how to pay for it, because he charges a lot of money. He says, you got this database. It was a med spa. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. He set up this database reactivation campaign for them so that they could pay for the mobile app. The mobile app was like $500,000. They wanted a killer mobile app. He did it, and in 1 month generated $250,000. They literally stopped him from keep doing it because it was too much for them to handle. They didn't have everything else set up. He just reactivated the database. And I say, oh, but we're a small business. We don't have, how are we going to do? We can't do that. Yeah, I know. I got it. You don't need fancy software to keep track of our customers. Let me be clear. No matter how small you are, if you're not using any CRM in today's business environment, you're not just leaving money on the table, you're practically writing checks to your competitors every month. So Bain and Company did a study, and they said increasing customer retention rates by just 5% can increase your profits by 25, to get this, 95%. Not a typo. Not a mistake. We're talking about doubling your profits just by focusing on the customers you already have. Doubling your profits in an email. That med spa made $250,000 in sales that they weren't already going to make in 30 days. So if you stop writing checks to your competitor and stop leaving money on the table and maximize the value of every person in your database, if you're ready for that, we'll talk about how to set that up for your business. Let me tell you what you can do, right? When you have a database like that, when you have a database where you could, MailChimp did a great commercial a couple of years ago where they had a big ball of people rolling in, and they said, are you treating all of your customers like customers? Like, are you sending out a blast email to everybody? It's not the way to do it. It works against you. So most businesses can't consistently email or don't consistently email their database. They don't have a way to do bulk emails. They don't have a way to do it that makes it look professional. Maybe you have constant contact. But I got that MailChimp that you talked about that. Great. But are you engaging your customers with it? Are you segmenting the leads? Are you targeting the offers? And you wonder who really got this right? Gambling companies. I did a project for Caesars Entertainment. I installed a software that was very expensive so that they could manage their marketing offers. Do you know, before they send out an email, a lead goes through 126 steps of a process to define the offer? So if you go to a casino and you get a free buffet and 2 tickets to a show, the person right next to you at that show might have got a free room and 2 tickets to the show and a buffet and a free drink and a this and a that, because they gamble more than you. They know how much, how well, they know everything about you. And they use all those different points of data to drive you through 126 checkpoints of data so that you get the offer they want you to have that's most appealing to you. Are you doing that? Do you have a 2-step process? A 5-step process? Any step process? Or you just hit send? Well, you can't do that until you have a solid database in place. So having a system that does that, and then locking in, do the same thing with SMS. Why? Because we just said earlier in the presentation, only 20% of the emails get opened, where 98% of the SMSs get viewed. They may not respond, but they view it. They see it. It's points of contact, engagement. And again, it goes back to, isn't this complicated? Yeah, a little, but not that much. Once you set up the whole platform in the system, you'll be doing fine. That little chat icon on the screen is what it looks like in our system that says, I got a list of people that I created smartly, and I'm going to send them an SMS or an email. Boom, done. You're a restaurant. It's 11:30. Half the crowd's normally there. You get a little nervous. Boom, send a text. Anybody that comes in with this text gets free drinks. 11:45, you start seeing people come in. Still not busy. 12:01, you say, dessert offer. It doesn't matter how they get to your restaurant or when they get to the restaurant. It only matters what? That they get to your restaurant. So if you're concerned about regulations and opt-ins, you're right to be cautious. It's crucial to ensure you're registered correctly with the carriers and everyone on your text list has agreed to it. But don't let that deter you. This process is simple with our Trust Center, which guides you through every step to make sure you're compliant. But here's the kicker. While this tool is incredibly powerful, most of your competitors are not using it. They're stuck in the old ways, using their cell phone, leaving a huge opportunity for you to get ahead. So let's check out your checklist. How did you do? Let's take a look at what we, bring it all together. We've covered a lot of ground today. All right.